I want to thank the members of the legislature who are with us, as well as their staff who are with us, as they help navigate their constituents through the first phase of the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. And that first phase was the rescue part, saving people's lives. Now we're moving into the next step, and that is to rebuild lives and rebuild communities. And this process of rebuilding communities is fraught with complexities. And what we're trying to do is to share information that will help members of the legislature as well as their staff better inform their constituents as well as the cities and counties about the array of tools that are available to help them swiftly and effectively respond to the challenges they face. For example, one thing that I provided to them was this letter that I previously provided to all of the county judges in all of the counties that I declared or that were declared a federal disaster. And here are bullet points about a long list of different financial tools that are available for all the cities and counties to be able to tap into to help them respond to the challenges they face, as well as to help their constituents respond. As an example, we received a $30 million grant from the United States Department of Labor that can go to displaced workers who are now out of a job because of where they used to work is now either formerly inundated or mowed down by the hurricane. They can receive money from this program for their involvement in helping their community rebuild. And this is grant money that doesn't have to be repaid. There's also programs available to help cities be able to tap into for their operating expenses, which is something that has always existed during the course of disasters. So there are so many different pieces of information that constituents need, that counties and cities need as they begin this process of digging out. That said, right now, the most important thing all cities and counties can focus on is to move very rapidly to remove debris as quickly as possible. That said, I'm going to have our commissioner provide an update on where he and his team stand. Commissioner?
Thank you, Governor. First of all, let me say thank you to the legislators that are here, but especially thank you to the staff members of the legislature that came. They are going to prove invaluable and have already to this process. We've got some counties, you may be a county judge that has never been through a disaster before, so help that comes from a legislator and filling out forms and things like that are critically important. The way our system works is it is a bottom-up system. The most important people in this system are the mayors and county judges. Each mayor and county judges is assigned someone from our array of agricultural extension people that are working just about full-time on this. Every county judge, every mayor, every legislator has someone that has their kids in school with their kids, that lives in the town, because we've got offices in 252 of the 254 counties, and those folks are there finding their problems, relaying them to us. But remember this, it is a decision of the mayors and a decision of the judges. If a mayor decides, I don't want to be sprayed with a C-130 gunship for mosquitoes, he doesn't get sprayed. Their decision to contract with folks on things like debris removal and things like that. What we can do, and the governor has done jillions of times, is suspend rules and regulations to allow them to do what they want. But they have to ask for help. They have to ask for temporary sites. They have to ask for rules being suspended and things like that. And so we work really, really closely with those local elected officials and legislators to make sure that they get what they need. And this team that the governor has assembled behind us is as good as it gets. And then the team on the ground, keep in mind that in other disasters around the country, they spent tens of millions of dollars on consultants to hear from a county judge or local parish sheriff what their concerns are. We have those people already on the ground, and we've simply converted them to to send their concerns in, and we're nearing in the neighborhood of 1,000 problems already solved, and that happens on a daily basis. No judge, no mayor doesn't have my cell phone number, and certainly the number of every one of those people that are there, and so that's what we're there. The governor has told us get this done yesterday, and that's the way we approach every single thing that we do. I told him in the room, I said, it's a little bit intimidating when you go into a meeting like this, and the governor, who's supposed to be at the 30,000 foot level, answers all the questions, knows more about it than anybody else in the room. I liked it better when I was working with Perry. I didn't have to worry about that. But it's this is 24/7 for hundreds and hundreds of people, and we understand the need for speed. We feel for and have empathy for our neighbors up and down the coast that are sitting there with debris piles in front of them. The kids are being bitten by mosquitoes, and the things that they have to go through with. And there's a whole team of people trying to mitigate that as fast as we possibly can.
One reason why Texas has received such national acclaim is because of the way that Texans have helped Texans. Remarked to me how heartwarmed they are to see the way that our fellow Texans took to boats to help people out of flooding waters. The worst of storms has brought out the best in humanity. Now that we've moved past that stage, we must continue that same sense of working together to ensure that we respond to the aftermath of this hurricane very swiftly and very effectively.
I'll tell you something else that brings tears to your eyes, is talk to the school principal, talk to the school superintendent in affected areas, and talk to them about how their kids have never been closer to each other than they are right now, how there's just this whole sense of community among the kids, and particularly the kids, but also the parents in those schools. They, to a person, talk about how this school has never been closer to each other as they are right now.
Good point. A few questions.
Governor, what's your reaction to the mayor of Houston's suggestion that if the state would tap its rainy day fund now, that Houston wouldn't have to raise taxes?
At times like these, it's important to have fiscal responsibility as opposed to financial panic. Listen, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, both agree with me, and that is that Texas will need to tap into the rainy day fund. They both agree with me that the appropriate time to do that will be during the next session. They, along with the comptroller, all agree with me, and that is that we have a full array of tools available to us to be able to respond to all of our challenges. An easy example is that one of the most important issues right now is debris removal. And because the city of Houston acted swiftly to begin that process, I was able to swiftly provide them a payment for it of almost $100 million. We have an accelerated reimbursement program established where we will reimburse the city for any expenses they have along the lines of our agreement with FEMA, so that all I need are invoices and I can pay their invoices. I will be paying every city of Houston invoice they submit to us within approximately 10 days. Now that said, I did see that the mayor's letter where he's asking for certain payments by the state of Texas to the city, which are unprecedented. It's never happened before in the state of Texas, and it raises a concern that the mayor seems to be using this as hostage to raise taxes, when in reality the city of Houston is sitting on hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars that he's not tapping into. Those hundreds of millions of dollars are siloed in TERS programs. Now, either the mayor can use those hundreds of millions of dollars to pay for these expenses that cost a fraction of that, or during the next session, the state legislature can and will modify the TERS statutes to ensure that the reserves by TERS can be used by cities to respond to disasters. So he has all the money that he needs, including the money that I provided to him, including the money that already exists that taxpayers have provided to him. He just needs to tap into it.
Governor, a lot of the affected sections by this disaster, they are undocumented, and not only are they recovering, but now they are also worried. Some of us have told us about the recent decision to unblock certain parts of SB4. They are now facing a double burden. What do you have to say to them?
Well, obviously during the initial phase, the focus was on saving lives, and that was done very effectively. As we get back into the normal course of daily activities, it's going to be important not just for them, but it's going to be important for all people who live in this country to follow the law.
Governor,
Two more.
I have a quick question. The money from Rebuild Texas, is my understanding that this is going to be going towards some certain community organizations. What community organizations are you guys working with, and has any of that money been distributed yet to those?
To my knowledge, none of that money has been distributed, nor have any potential recipients been identified.
Some
Last
smaller
question.
cities
Governor.
and towns affected by the storm say that they haven't been receiving resources. They feel overlooked by this response. Do you have any comment to that?
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, for example, in Refugio, they say they haven't gotten any temporary housing yet, despite many residents being displaced. I know some schools in that area have also reported some similar issues. In fact, someone from Texas A&M in the Statesman this past week said, you're already seeing an outpouring of resources to Houston and quite a bit of neglect, quite frankly, to towns along the coast that are working harder in terms of structural damage.
I'll let the man from Texas A&M answer that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get both questions at once. The question was over here on community development block grants. A couple of weeks ago, all mayors, all judges were sent a survey to list and prioritize every single need that they have that reflects community development block grants. The reason it's important that they fill that out yesterday and get it back to us is the way that money is appropriated. And that money is appropriated for all disasters. In other words, Congress says, here's a lump sum of money, and we expect more in October and later on in the year. But it's for all disasters. Ours, the one in Florida, the wildfires in California, all of those things. And so it's early bird gets the worm. And so we need them to fill that out and get it back to us as soon as possible. Every single one of them. We call them every day, say, get this stuff in. We know you're killing alligators, but and you've got other things to do, but it is real important for your communities to get that in. The second thing that's important is that when you deal with the federal government, it is a mother may I proposition. Don't go spend the money expecting reimbursement until you filled out the paperwork and got the proper forms done. Because what causes the problems 5 years after a disaster when the federal government comes in and claws back from your county is some mayor before you or some county judge before you or somebody didn't fill out the paperwork. The third thing that's important is that this also goes down to all of the government districts, not just the counties and the cities, but but obviously schools, but municipal utility districts, of which you have in Harris County 1,500. Damage in those also needs to be on that form, so the judges need to make sure that all of that's in there. Those right now, that is job one next to debris removal for a county elected official.
Everyone, thanks so much. We got to run.
Also, I didn't hear the question.